Deep in the azure Caribbean exists a country pieced together from entirely different worlds. The northern coast features Atlantic waves crashing against rugged cliffs and endless stretches of sand. To the south, the Caribbean Sea gently laps against shores, lined with sugarcane fields and quiet fishing villages. Centuries-old colonial streets sit mere miles away from ultra-modern resorts that welcome millions of global travelers every single year. Yet the true heart of the Dominican Republic has never truly resided on those famous beaches. It lives within the bachata melodies, drifting from narrow porches, and within family meals that stretch for hours. This is a society built entirely upon the foundations of kinship, community, and the profound closeness between people. This is the story of the everyday rhythm of Dominican life. A country pulsing with such immense life does not wake up quietly or slowly. Every morning in this Caribbean nation begins not with the silent rush of an industrial metropolis, but with a symphony of raw vitality and human connection. As dawn breaks through the towering palm fronds, the sun quickly burns away the delicate mist clinging to the brightly painted, corrugated roofs of the neighborhoods. Whether in the bustling, crowded capital of Santo Domingo or the deeply tranquil rural provinces, locals greet the new day with the rich, bold aroma of artisan-roasted coffee. Smoke from small wood stoves rises and mingles with the scent of damp earth, creating an unmistakable atmosphere that signals the start of honest labor. Motorcycles soon roar to life, darting down narrow streets, carrying eager workers into their new shifts under the warming sky. Broadcasters from local markets project lively announcements over loudspeakers, blending seamlessly with the rhythmic melodies spilling out from neighborhood grocery stores, known locally as colmados. Public space here carries a profoundly different meaning compared to many other parts of the developed world. Along uneven cobblestone paths and the front porches of modest wooden houses, dozens of plastic chairs sit ready from the very early hours of the morning. People adamantly refuse to lock themselves behind closed doors, choosing instead to bring their entire lives outdoors into the shared light. Children chase each other carelessly through narrow alleys, their pure laughter echoing across every corner and bouncing off the colorful walls. Meanwhile, adults lean back in their chairs, sipping hot coffee, observing the daily flow of the streets, and exchanging loud greetings with passers-by. This constant human presence in open spaces is not merely a lifestyle habit, but a bold declaration of shared existence and mutual reliance. Dominicans do not live isolated from their community. They immerse themselves completely within it, sharing the joys and sorrows of absolutely everyone around them. This joyful gathering on the porch is clearly not a random surface phenomenon that fades when the sun goes down. It is deeply nourished by a much older root, where invisible threads bind individuals tightly together through blood and loyalty. What weaves this resilient social fabric that no economic storm or natural disaster can easily tear apart? The definitive answer rests deep within the family home, which stands proudly as the most fundamental and sacred unit of Dominican society. The concept of family in this territory rarely stops at the small nuclear model of just parents and children isolated in their own bubble. Walking into any household immediately reveals a beautiful multi-generational structure, living harmoniously under a single shared roof. Grandparents, with silver hair and hands lined by the heavy passage of time, proudly take on the role of primary caretakers and spiritual guides. They willingly sacrifice their quiet retirement years to raise energetic grandchildren, granting the younger generation the freedom to venture out and earn a living in a competitive world. Children grow up enveloped in the fierce, protective embrace of grandparents, parents, and very often the aunts and uncles living right next door. Young people seldom rush to leave this nurturing nest to seek early independence, like their Western counterparts, who often prioritize individuality. They consciously choose to stay, contributing their earnings to the household and continuing a legacy of closeness that has run in their blood for centuries. Neighbors within these tight residential blocks exist as extended members of a massive, interconnected bloodline. The strict boundary between a relative and a mere stranger completely blurs through afternoons spent sharing plates of hot food or knocking on a door to borrow a pinch of salt. Whenever any significant event happens within one family, whether a massive triumph or a devastating tragedy, it immediately transforms into an occasion for the entire neighborhood to mobilize. A loud, joyous wedding, a colorful birthday party filled with balloons, or a solemn, tearful funeral all draw the immediate presence and support of countless acquaintances. They arrive not merely to make a polite appearance, but to actively shoulder the emotional weight and logistical burdens together. This fierce communal bond is so powerful that it stretches far beyond the physical borders of the island nation, reaching the snowy streets of distant global cities. Financial data, updated to early 2026, reveals an astonishing reality regarding this unwavering devotion to the homeland. During the first quarter of 2026, official records showed remittance inflows surging past historic milestones, reaching billions of dollars sent directly into the hands of waiting families. Behind these gigantic economic figures are the calloused hands of construction workers shivering in New York and exhausted restaurant servers running across dining rooms in Madrid. Despite living very frugally in cramped overseas apartments, they consistently send the vast majority of their hard-earned income back to their tropical homeland. These funds are proudly used to build sturdy concrete houses for their mothers, pay university tuition for their nieces, or cover vital medical expenses for aging grandparents. For them, sacrificing personal luxury to guarantee a better life for their loved ones is never viewed as a burden, but rather as a profoundly proud duty. In the Dominican Republic, a successful person is not the one who travels the farthest, but the one who manages to uplift the greatest number of relatives. Yet, if family ties were the only defining element, this vast portrait of the people would still lack its most vibrant and intoxicating colors. Kinship is the invisible binding cord, but what makes that specific cord constantly vibrate with such passionate and rhythmic melodies? The secret lies within a deeply hybridized culture, forged by a highly complex historical current that shaped an entirely unique Caribbean identity. The deep past of this territory reads like a turbulent epic chronicle, blending three massive and distinct bloodlines: the ancient spiritual traces of the indigenous Taíno people, the forceful architectural and linguistic influence of Spanish explorers, and the enduring, brilliant resilience of Africans brought here centuries ago all converge. These powerful elements did not cancel each other out, but beautifully fused together to create a Dominican spirit that is famously generous, brilliant, and full of unyielding life. Music stands as the most vivid manifestation of this magnificent blend, permeating every single facet of human existence on the island. Walking down any busy avenue guarantees a sudden encounter with the irresistible and driving rhythms of merengue and bachata. These iconic melodies weave out from massive, customized speakers positioned in front of local shops and echo loudly through crowded public buses navigating city traffic. Merengue carries a rapid, driving tempo fueled by the traditional tambora drum and the metallic scraping guira, instantly sparking immense excitement across all social classes. Meanwhile, bachata carries a much more romantic and sometimes sorrowful tone, telling highly intimate stories of bitter love, painful separation, and unspoken earthly desires. The smooth swaying of hips and the steady, rhythmic tapping of feet turn absolutely any public space into a spontaneous and joyful dance floor. For the local citizens, music is never simply a background recreational activity, but an absolutely essential component of their daily survival. This vibrant, expressive culture erupts even more fiercely during special national festivities, especially the legendary Carnaval Dominicano. The main streets flood with dazzling, elaborate costumes and grotesque yet deeply artistic demon masks known as Diablos Cojuelos. Citizens of all ages pour into the wide avenues to dance, sing, and celebrate their survival in its absolute fullest and most unapologetic form. Alongside these loud, chaotic street parties, traditional faith plays an equally crucial role in soothing the human soul. A profound Catholic belief, preserved over many long centuries, intertwines naturally with the mystical folk spiritual traditions native to the Caribbean. Solemn, quiet church services on Sunday mornings frequently transition into traditional community gatherings where people seek protection from mysterious forces. However, passionate melodies and bright, roaring festivals could never feel complete without the rich flavors that have nourished these resilient generations. After an exhausting day of labor, what specific magic calls the wandering footsteps back to the warmth of the family home? That is the exact moment the irresistible, savory aroma of la bandera begins to waft from cozy neighborhood kitchens. This beloved national dish translates to the flag, symbolizing immense national pride through every simple yet perfectly seasoned ingredient on the plate. Fluffy white rice represents pure intentions. Savory stewed red beans signify the hot blood of passionate patriots, and rich braised meat embodies the sheer physical strength of the workforce. Early mornings absolutely demand the heavy presence of mango, a universally loved dish of boiled and smoothly mashed green plantains, served alongside vinegar-soaked red onions, salty fried cheese, and thick slices of local salami. This meal is an institution. It provides an incredibly abundant energy source for tough laborers braving a grueling day under the unforgiving open sky. During highly special occasions, or when heavy tropical rains trap people indoors for hours, a massive metal pot of sancocho is immediately placed on the blazing fire. This highly complex, thick stew, featuring various distinct meats and hearty root vegetables, requires immense patience to perfect. It serves as the absolute perfect excuse for a massive, loud gathering of friends and extended family members. Alongside the heavy food, iconic beverages act as an indispensable social catalyst for joy and relaxation. Thick, dark, sweet coffee is generously shared every single morning to ignite endless neighborhood conversations and gossip. Rum, the globally celebrated and historically rich spirit of the Caribbean, stands as a liquid testament to the successful sublimation of the sugarcane harvest. Fresh tropical fruit juices, bursting with the raw sweetness of nature, perfectly soothe the scorching midday heat for thirsty children. Yet, the most remarkable aspect is not the raw ingredients themselves, but the deeply ingrained cultural approach to dining. Meals here never consist of rushed, lonely bites taken on the go while staring at a glowing screen. They are prolonged, festive affairs that sometimes stretch lazily from the early afternoon until the crickets begin to chirp at dusk. People vastly prefer eating simple food together over consuming expensive gourmet delicacies entirely alone in silence. The long family dining table serves as the ultimate social anchor, where vital news is updated, complex conflicts are resolved, and loud laughter never ceases. At a Dominican table, food does not merely nourish the physical body, but deeply nourishes every human relationship. The visible abundance found on the lively dining table might create a false illusion of a completely carefree economy, but reality constantly demands relentless physical effort. How do these deeply emotional and joyful people confront the harsh, unforgiving realities of earning a living? The modern tourism industry rises as a colossal economic engine, driving the entire national financial pulse forward. Official reports from the Tourism Board in early 2026 enthusiastically confirm that the territory welcomed well over 12 million international visitors annually. This staggering number firmly cements its unshakable status as a premier global destination, drawing wealth from across the oceans. Hundreds of thousands of local citizens labor tirelessly within magnificent enclosed resorts, coastal seafood restaurants, or take on the demanding role of dedicated tour guides. They bring their bright, genuine smiles and innate cultural hospitality to completely satisfy wealthy strangers from distant, freezing lands. Under the blinding tropical sun, a young housekeeper at a 5-star luxury hotel works tirelessly to clean endless rooms. She carefully saves every single dollar of her tips, sending the crucial funds back to a deeply impoverished rural village. Beyond the glittering facade of tourism, traditional agriculture remains the ancient, beating lifeblood of the nation. On steep, dangerous hillsides, generations of farmers continue to expertly harvest cacao pods and delicate coffee beans using calloused, bare hands. Down in the flat southern plains, vast green sugarcane fields sway rhythmically in the wind, waiting for the brutal harvest to be refined into sweet, profitable yields. Along the jagged northern coast, brave fishermen set sail long before dawn, riding the unpredictable ocean tides to bring back heavy nets full of fresh, shimmering catches. Interwoven into the dense urban fabric are countless street vendors fiercely claiming their tiny spots on the crowded sidewalks. They push heavy wooden fruit carts for miles under the sun, selling small trinkets or managing tiny neighborhood stalls packed with daily essentials. Making a living is never an easy task in this developing nation, but the people always find brilliant ways to adapt with incredible endurance. Amidst these constant economic fluctuations, the rising cost of basic living has steadily transformed into an invisible yet incredibly heavy pressure on the working class. As housing, food, and public transportation expenses climb rapidly upward, the average income of general laborers often struggles to keep a fair pace. This widening, scary gap between modest wages and mounting monthly bills forces them to invent unique communal survival mechanisms. This is precisely when the vital role of overseas remittances and deep community solidarity unleashes its absolute maximum power. Many households brilliantly operate using the pooled, combined income of the entire extended family, rather than relying on a single vulnerable earner. Those with a temporary financial surplus gladly help the suddenly unemployed, while the young and healthy share their food portions with the frail elderly. This powerful internal safety network prevents the society from fracturing or collapsing under the crushing weight of global inflation. These heavy daily economic burdens eventually have to step aside when faced with a much greater and older force. Since the resilient people have learned to rely completely on each other, they must also learn to converse with a significantly larger and wilder partner. What massive element truly shapes the resilient, deeply patient character of everyone living on this island? The undeniable answer is the breathtaking extreme diversity of nature and geography sprawling across the entire landmass. The vast north opens up to the rolling, crashing waves of the Atlantic Ocean, where fishing villages completely synchronize their daily routines with the seasonal catches. Interspersed within this damp coastal region are vast, dark cacao plantations hiding beneath cool green canopies, providing raw materials for premium global chocolate. Moving steadily into the central region, the terrain sharply ascends into endless, jagged mountain ranges covered in perpetual thick mist. The surprisingly cooler, crisp climate here creates the absolutely perfect environment for sprawling coffee estates clinging dangerously to the steep slopes. Highlanders live at a notably slower pace, measuring the passage of time by the red ripening of coffee cherries rather than ticking clocks. Heading deeply south, the atmosphere turns dramatically arid and hot, making way for endless sugarcane fields baking under the relentless, blinding sun. Every single geographic region dictates a distinct, harsh rhythm, forcing humanity to humbly follow suit. Coastal dwellers live their lives strictly by the changing tides. Mountaineers survive by the grace of the heavy rains, and farmers plan their existence around the vital harvest. In the Dominican Republic, nature acts not just as beautiful background scenery, but as the ultimate master clock controlling all mortal existence. This incredible generosity of creation gifted the nation with spectacular geographical wonders that attract millions of curious eyes. Punta Cana strongly represents the most glamorous, wealthy face, featuring powdery white sands, crystal warm waters, and a long string of world-renowned luxury resorts. In sharp, stunning contrast, the Zona Colonial in the bustling capital transports amazed visitors straight back in time. This is the oldest surviving colonial settlement in the entire Americas, preserving the moss-covered stone ruins of the very earliest European arrivals in the New World. Heading toward the lush northeast, the Samana Peninsula emerges as an untouched, breathtaking masterpiece of raw natural beauty. This tranquil, deep blue sanctuary welcomes majestic, giant humpback whales migrating back to these warm waters to mate every single year. For those wanting to completely escape the familiar, lazy beach stereotypes, a demanding journey up Pico Duarte offers a shocking revelation. As the highest towering peak in the entire Caribbean, it offers freezing temperatures, thick frost, and a wildly different perspective on tropical geography. Along the breezy northern coast, Puerto Plata proudly carries the complex history of a vibrant port city featuring a unique mechanical cable car that glides up a majestic green mountain. But much like absolutely every other tropical nation on Earth, nature acts as both the greatest generous blessing and the most severe, violent test. The extreme generosity of the fertile land and teeming sea does not ever include a signed promise of eternal peace. When the high winds suddenly shift direction, the normal, joyful life of the citizens suddenly plunges into a threatening, dark cycle of trials. Fierce, howling tropical hurricanes, bringing violent, destructive winds and torrential flooding rains, remain a constant, terrifying nightmare sweeping across the island annually. The undeniable reality of global climate change continually amplifies the severity of these extreme weather events, directly threatening vulnerable coastal communities. These massive natural disasters often leave devastating, heartbreaking aftermaths, ripping roofs off homes and drowning entire crucial agricultural harvest seasons in mud. Furthermore, the rapid, explosive growth of the modern tourism economy unfortunately exposes deep, painful social fractures. The visible wealth gap becomes increasingly apparent, bitterly dividing heavily guarded luxury resorts from the impoverished, crowded neighborhoods clinging to the city outskirts. The excessively fast pace of urban migration places immense, crushing pressure on aging city infrastructure, causing frequent power and water shortages. Additionally, the heavy national reliance on the service sector leaves the entire economy highly vulnerable to sudden global shifts and external crises. Facing these countless heavy hardships, from terrifying natural disasters to crushing economic burdens, a central, profound question continuously echoes in the wind. What exact magic allows Dominicans to fiercely maintain such a slow, calm, and deeply joyful pace of life in an increasingly fast and uncertain modern world? The profound explanation resides in a beautiful philosophy deeply absorbed into the very veins of the population. The massive, unpredictable ocean taught the humble fisherman how to wait patiently for a massive catch without a single trace of panic. The majestic, silent mountains shaped the quiet endurance of the hard-working farmers through endless cycles of drought and flood. Melodic, rhythmic music serves as the ultimate free healing remedy for any physical exhaustion during breezy afternoon gatherings. No matter how grueling or unfair the daylight hours prove to be, families still faithfully gather to share warmth and laughter around the dinner table every night. The people born here never harbor the foolish arrogance or ambition to conquer or dominate the fierce natural world. They choose a much wiser, ancient path by learning how to live in absolute humble harmony with it. They resiliently endure the muddy, rainy season, patiently ride out the terrifying storms, generously embrace the grand ocean, and quietly coexist with the towering, silent peaks. Perhaps this absolute acceptance and flawless integration is the exact emotional reason that permanently anchors the souls of those far away. Even when walking down the luxurious, freezing avenues of New York or Madrid, countless expatriates passionately and tearfully dream of their ultimate return. Because to them, their tropical homeland is never just a geographic location stamped on a faded birth certificate. It is the only place on Earth where the human pulse perfectly aligns with the breathing of the sea, the mountains, and the free Caribbean wind. If there is only one single vital thing to keep in your mind when thinking about the Dominican Republic, please do not let it be the extravagant resorts. Do not limit your memory to the heavily advertised tourist beaches plastered across glossy travel magazines. Remember instead the beautiful, resilient way a small nation positioned in the middle of the Caribbean Sea stubbornly preserves an extraordinary ancient bond. It is the profound, unbreakable connection between people, their families, their loud communities, and the majestic natural world that surrounds them. That fierce, unbreakable spirit truly represents their absolute most monumental wealth. It proves once and for all that true happiness is never measured by the material items you hoard, but by the precious human relationships you actively protect. Do not merely look at this incredible land through a distant, cold lens. Come feel the intense warmth of its people, and let your own heart beat in perfect unison with this wonderfully magical territory. If you enjoyed this journey through the Dominican Republic, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves discovering the world through the lives of its people. And until our next journey, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story from somewhere else on our planet.